Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Patra. This is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street. Well, it's panned out to be a historic session for the Nifty, for the Sensex, for the Midcap Index. We've seen historic highs in today's intraday session. Even as we speak, 170 points higher on the Nifty, 22,682 can be seen. It dipped after touching record high levels, and then, of course, we are again seeing a climb up to those record levels for the Nifty in today's trading session as well. Now, when we talk about the Nifty, we've actually seen an all-time high of 22,697 for the Nifty today, just shy of the 23,000 mark now, and now we're also looking at across the board when we talk about rallies that are taking place. Mid-cap space continues to buzz very, very sharply. Today, it's the auto space that sprung back into shape, 2.2% higher for this one as well. And when we look at the realty space, again, 1.7% of an up move can be seen right now. Across the board, sectorally speaking, all the sectors barring IT and PSU banks are in the green right now. It's Eicher, Maruti Suzuki, M&M, the three top movers on the Nifty right now, followed by SBI Life, JSW Steel, Shriram Finance, Reliance Industries. These are the 5-6 movers on the Nifty as we speak. On the downside, however, you do see some stocks that are still hovering in the lower side. Adani Ports, Nestle, LTI Mindtree, Wipro, HCL Technologies. These are some of the stocks that are actually dragging the street. But the broader markets and the F&O space is a buzz with stocks that are hitting fresh 52-week highs, fresh all-time high levels, gaining in double digits in a day like today. Let's welcome our guest on the show. Sunny Agarwal now joins in from SBI Securities. Welcome, Sunny, and thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. Record high levels on the markets. Where are you looking in for fresh investments at these sky-high valuations, at these sky-high levels? It must be getting very difficult now to really find out where exactly should you be deploying fresh money.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sakshi, and thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there is a lot of exuberance in the market, and right now, as you rightly pointed out, valuations are not comfortable. Although, having said that, when Nifty is trading close to 19 times, 20 times 1 year forward price to earning multiple, so it's neither expensive nor in very euphoric zone. I think there is still many stock-specific opportunity which exists in the market. And the very simple mantra for sustaining this relatively expensive valuation is the expected corporate profit growth. So we all know that during the interim budget, government has taken assumption of 11 to 12% kind of nominal GDP growth. And this clearly points out that maybe corporate profitability will at least sustain 15% kind of earning growth, assuming the 12% kind of nominal GDP growth. And hence, henceforth, what I feel it's a stock pickers market. Anyway, there are many events which are likely to pan out over the period of next 2-3 months. Obviously, March quarter numbers will start percolating from 10th or 11th of April. Then general election outcome, then followed by a monsoon forecast, and at the same time, again a union budget in the month of July, and followed by the election in the month of November in the US economy. So I think it's a stock-specific stock pickers market. And a few sectors which we like at the current juncture are basically capital market as a story. We all know that we have seen a rapid increase in demat account addition from 4 crore number in the during the COVID period to currently 15 crore number. And at the same time, we are seeing a record inflows into the asset management companies. Wealth managers are minting money by managing money. So I think entire capital market as a story looks attractive from a medium to long term perspective. Auto ancillary. So we have seen a lot of excitement on auto ancillary side. Anyway, today top three gainers are from auto sector also. So I think auto ancillary is the sector to me in from a short to medium term perspective. Then consumer discretionary, travel, tourism, jewelry. I think the very robust set of update coming from jewelry companies for March quarter also. So again, these are the few sector, and manufacturing obviously, which includes electronic manufacturing sector, or for that matter, specialty metal products like structural steel tube, wire rope, and then generic infrastructure sectors like railway, port, defense, cables. So these are the few sectors where we are bullish on. Having said that, it's a stock picker market. So you need to identify the companies which are likely to grow earning at a CAGR of 20-25% over the period of next 2-3 years. And then accordingly, you need to bet your money on that. Having said that, again, after robust return during the last
Right.
10 to 12 months, I think we need to temper down expectation for next maybe 6 to 8 months and need to be satisfied with lower return.
Sunny, tell me about the momentum spaces right now. The auto space is in top gear. A whole host of names really springing back in action. What are you studying behind this strong surge in the auto space, and where are you finding stocks where still value can be unfolded?
Yeah, so I think the reason behind momentum in the auto sector is the robust auto sales number, especially on passenger vehicle and two-wheeler side and three-wheeler side. So these are the three segments which are buzzing with a healthy volume growth. Premiumization is a trend we are clearly witnessing across the auto sector, whether it is two-wheeler or passenger vehicle side. Tractor, which was under trouble since last year, I think with an expectation of normal monsoon, I feel tractor again can see a kind of low single digit volume growth after a long time in FY25. And again, I would like to bet my money on Mahindra and Mahindra, which is a combined play on tractor as well as the SUV segment. Anyway, we all know that sport utility vehicle is currently 50% of the total passenger vehicle pie. And that segment is outpacing the passenger vehicle industry by a healthy number. So I think my M&M is a good play to bet on with a price target of 2300 over the period of next 8 to 12 months.
Okay, M&M is the preferred bit right there. But what about Exide Industries? That has clearly led a lot of action coming back into the street as far as the auto space is concerned. If we look at Exide Industries, it's right now hovering around 17% of a move on both the F&O space. It's the top mover. Even the cash markets, it's showing huge, heavy volumes of buying. Now, this happened after both Hyundai Motor India and Kia Corporation have announced a partnership with the Exide's subsidiary, Exide Energy Solutions for EV battery localization in India, and that's the news that has pulled the stock higher to the day's high level now, 18% higher at 379, 380 kind of levels. How would you really look at Exide?
That's a pleasant surprise, I think, Sakshi, because I was under the impression that battery being one of the large cost component for any EV manufacturer, I was thinking that battery as a piece will be developed internally by all these large auto OEM. And then came this announcement of tie-up between Hyundai, Kia, and Exide. I think that's a big lifeline for the guys like Exide, and I'm sure very soon we may see another big player like Amara Raja also getting into tie-up with any auto OEM for battery development. I think that's a big positive as far as Exide is concerned.
Okay, fair enough. Anything in the two-wheeler space that you still like? There was momentum about a month back when we were seeing all the two-wheeler majors really rallying in trade, competing for record high levels. How would you really look at them now?
Again, on two-wheeler side, my top two picks will be Eicher Motor and TVS Motor. The reason being that for Eicher in the bike segment, despite of so much competition from Hero or for that matter Bajaj, they continue to do well. International piece of business is also doing pretty well. At the same time, commercial vehicle as a segment, what I feel is that post-election we may see uptick in the volume on commercial vehicle side. So Eicher is a place to be in, and TVS Motor again are doing very well on both IC engine as well as electric vehicle side. So these are the two bet I would like to take from two-wheeler side.
Okay, fair enough. The other buzzing space is the real estate sector, Sunny, and we are looking at reports coming in from a whole host of players that are announcing highest ever annual sales for FY24. Many are reporting record buying time and sales worth 3,000 odd crore rupees for Godrej Properties, for example, in Gurugram. That's the one that we heard today as well. Many are also surpassing the guidance of the kind of sales that they had expected for the entire fiscal year. So this entire fiscal has turned out to be great one, and this is reflected in the stock prices as well. Nifty Realty Index was the top performing index in FY24 with 140% kind of an upside. Now, of course, this entire space is constantly buzzing and most of it is news flow led kind of momentum that we are looking here. But are there any few stocks that you believe investors should continue to create a sip in, maybe hold for a long term view? How are you looking at playing the entire real estate space right now?
I think on real estate side, we have seen a very strong momentum as far as residential market is concerned, and that getting reflected in the all the provisional data which we are seeing for the March quarter. And I think here one need to be again slightly choosy in terms of picking the company. So guys like Phoenix Mill, which has I mean more of an urban consumption story, more driven by the rental income. So this is the one of the safer place to be in. At the same time, companies like Century Textile, backed by the very strong promoter Villa Group. There we have seen a good diversification from the Mumbai market to the Bangalore. At the same time, a very robust launch pipeline. So Century Textile can be a place to be in. Companies like Shobha Real Estate, which are relatively trading at a cheaper valuation. So these are the few companies which one can bet money in the real estate sector.
Okay, fair enough. So those are the specific picks where you're bullish on. Let's also discuss the other space, and that is the IT space, which is still underperforming on a day like today also, Sunny. And this space has seen a lot of pain unfold for itself for a long time. Why am I talking about IT spaces? Because this space will get in the thick of action for the earnings. We will see TCS, Infosys kickstart the earnings season in a few days' time, and then we will of course see the entire sector report the earnings for this quarter. A lot of brokerage houses reports still indicate that there could be another weak quarter in the offing for the IT space, and the pain could be somewhat persisting. How would you really look at the IT space ahead of earnings? What is your own view, and where would you advise investors to put fresh bets, if at all?
Yeah, again, Sakshi IT space. The concern has been only on the demand side. So let us hear from the management during the March quarter what is their outlook for FY25. But having said that, coming from a very low base for FY24, maybe we may see a high single digit or low double digit kind of earning growth in FY25 for tier one IT companies. The street is a bit cautious because of the recent downgrade of IT earning outlook by Accenture. And that is the reason that we have seen underperformance from tier one companies like Infi, TCS, and HCL Tech, so on and so forth. So let us just next week, in the next few days, we will get to know what is an outlook as far as discretionary spend is concerned. In terms of mid-size IT company, I think they are relatively better placed. Companies like Persistent, or for that matter, ER&D focused companies like Tata Tech, or for that matter, LTTS, KPIT, which is again focusing on very niche auto sector. So I think these are the few companies which are relatively likely to outperform in terms of earning growth, and hence the street is likely to reward them also. So let us hear from TCS and Infi, and that will set the tone for the entire IT sector.
Okay, let us wait and watch out for the first two big players to really come out with their reports to help us understand how the entire sector could be moving forward from here. So that's as far as the move is concerned. Let's again look at some of the other momentum plays right now. Within the F&O space, apart from Excite that we've discussed, it's Info Edge India that's been constantly on an upward trend right from the word go in the morning trade, and it's still hovering around 9.5% higher. Voltas is another one. Even though it's come off the day's high point, we still see about a 7% surge coming in, followed by Blue Star that's again have been on a move right here, and we've been seeing the entire summer play really playing up for this entire space. Apart from it, Gale India, that's up 5.5% higher. Glenmark Pharmaceuticals, that's another one from the F&O space that's been buzzing. Anything from this basket of stocks that strikes your attention, Sunny, that you'd like to give us your view on?
I think I would like to go ahead with the summer portfolio because it has been the last 2 years we have seen a very kind of muted numbers coming from all these consumer durable companies, whether it is Voltas, Blue Star, you name the company, and they were not doing well during the last 2 years. And after a long time, it is estimated that this is going to be a very hot season as far as May and June is concerned, April, May and June. And at the same time, the way Volta's commentary has come, I think a very robust set of number, at least coming from air conditioning company. So I would like to bet my money on companies like Blue Star, where the company is having 13 to 14% market share, aspiring to move up the market share to 15, 16%. Margins are likely to remain stable. So Blue Star is one of the company. And again, one of the smaller size companies like VGuard, where which is one of the market leader as far as stabilizer is concerned. So again, a proxy play on refrigeration as well as air conditioning market. So VGuard is one of the company where one can bet money as far as summer portfolio is concerned. And again, companies like retail chain owner like EMIL, Electronic Mart India Limited. Ultimately, these are the few outlets from where all these products will be sold. So I think EMIL is one of the company where I would like to bet my money for the summer portfolio. And one more company which we like to ride on the summer portfolio is Wonderla Limited. Again, it's an amusement park company, one of the largest amusement park company in India, expanding. So we all know that they are expanding in Orissa as well as in Chennai. So gradual addition of park will lead to the increase in earning over the period of next 2 3 years. So Wonderla is one of our bet as far as the amusement industry is concerned.
Okay, fair enough. So those are the specific picks on the summer theme that Sunny has really picked up for all our viewers right there. So do keep an eye in case you're looking at adding some thematic stocks also to your portfolio at this point in time. Let's look at a lot of stocks that are hitting 52-week high levels in trade today. So Sundram Finance is one that I saw, that's up 7% at 4604. Info Edge we've discussed, it's up 9.5%. That's another one that's hit a 52-week high. Voltas we've discussed just now is hit a 52-week high. Shriram Pistons is another one that's up by 6.5% at 2166. That's another one that's hit a 52-week high. Exide we've discussed. Those are some of the stocks that are hitting 52-week highs. Along with it, I'm also looking at some of the other gainers at this point where a lot of momentum is being generated. So we were discussing Exide. Amara Raja Batteries is also up by 8% odd in trade today. So the entire theme seems to be moving up now. PNC Infratech, that's another one that's gaining ground, 7.5% higher, 462 right now for this one. Then apart from this, Pesalo Digital is another one that's up 10% odd in trade. Anything that strikes your attention now, Sunny, from these stocks that are gaining a lot of ground at trading at 52-week high levels and multi-year highs too?
Again, Sakshi, so here I would again like to focus on companies like Exide because that's a big opportunity which has opened up for the company. We all know that gradually EV will become a part and parcel of our life. So as the pie of EV vehicle ecosystem increases in the auto passenger vehicle or two-wheeler side, I think Exide will be one of the key beneficiary. But having need to have a slightly longer horizon, maybe 3 4 years, 5 years kind of horizon, then probably or otherwise one can wait for a slight correction, minor dip is the right time to enter into the companies like Exide or Amara.
Okay, fair enough. So that's as far as the Excite and the battery space is concerned. Along with the Nifty stocks, we're also looking at the Midcap space that's been buzzing. The Midcap index has also hit a record high. Anything specific from this space that you picked out of late?
Again, from the mid-cap space, I think what we are bullish on certain names like Karur Vysya Bank. So recently we have seen a very robust update coming from the bank. So from 400 crore kind of profitability 3 years back, now bank is clocking close to annual profit of 1,100 crore, trading at 1.2 time price to book. Sorry, 1.8 time, ROA of 2%. So I think that is one place to be in. Companies from basically structural steel tube industry, guys like APL Apollo, where we are seeing a migration from a commodity product to the value added product that will lead to the margin expansion. At the same time, the new capacity at the Raipur plant of 2 million ton will give a boost to the volumes. So APL Apollo Tube is the one company to look for. Sula Vineyard, again, one of the market leader as far as wine segment is concerned. So we have seen a decent correction in that name also from a 52-week high level. So that Sula Vineyard is one of the company to focus on. Praj Industries, again, I think the recent intervention by the government on direct conversion of sugarcane juice to ethanol was there. We have seen some effect on Praj Industries. So stock was trading at 650 before that announcement. Right now at 527. I think It's a decent order book the company is sitting on. At the same time, I don't think so that ethanol story has been derailed. It's a long-term story ultimately that will benefit government only. So Praj Industry is a place to be in. Garware High Tech Film. So there are a few names which we are recommending to our clients from a mid-cap small cap space.
Okay, so these are as far as the mid-cap counters are concerned. Sunny, you were talking about the summer theme, and we did talk about, like, consumer durables, entertainment kind of themes. But what about the power space that actually began its rally last year around the same time? One way up move that we saw for the entire power space, because there was record demand for power. And now that has turned out to be a big theme for this entire fiscal year, FY24. At the beginning of FY25, we are again looking at a lot of these stocks buzzing again in trade. Is this a continued theme for FY25? Where exactly would you keep your focus as far as the power names are concerned, especially with the announcements of IMD that heat wave conditions will be developing, especially in southern parts? It's already at a striking distance. In the northern part of the country, soon enough we will see some such heavy demand on the power side. On the other hand, heat wave conditions as well. So how do you look to play the entire power space now?
I think Sakshi, power as a theme is not restricted to FY25. It's a, I think, 5-year theme where we will see a rapid capacity addition, or in fact requirement of a rapid capacity addition both on thermal as well as renewable energy side. So the entire power sector value chain, right from generation to transmission to distribution to the consumption, I think the entire theme is looking structurally good from a 5-year perspective. If somebody want to bet from a short to medium term perspective, I think CESC, Calcutta Electric, is one of the company which I feel is trading at a relatively cheaper valuation. So CESC is one of the power distribution company based out of Calcutta. So this is the one company which we are liking on. Basically on solar side, KPI Green is one of the company where we have seen a rapid capacity addition or order book build up on both IPP and CPP side. So KPI Green, again, it's a play on solar sector. So that's one of the top pick. And among the large cap player, recently there was an announcement that all the gas fired power plant will be provided gas at a nominal rate, and it will be ensured that PLF is significantly higher. So I think Torrent Power is one of the large player in gas-based power play. So Torrent Power is one of our top pick if you somebody want to write on gas-based power sector.
Okay, so understood. That's as far as the power space is concerned, where you're bullish on. What about the power financiers, REC, PFC, IREDA? Are you looking at any of these stocks to be continuously put in fresh money?
Yeah, definitely. I think ultimately the power plant will need a financing, and all these companies will be at a forefront to finance all these power projects. So I think PFC Power Finance Corporation is a good bet because ultimately that the holding company of REC. You directly get to play entire power financing sector through Power Finance Corporation.
Okay, fair enough. Well, on that note, thanks a lot then, Sunny, for being with us on the show and discussing with us a whole host of ideas, strategies, themes with all our viewers. Pleasure having you with us on Business Today and getting all those ideas as well. Until we meet next time, hope you have a great time as well, both investing in markets and otherwise as well. Let's now look at inviting our other guest on the show as well. Now, Ruchit Jain is joining us. He's the lead research analyst at 5paisa. Ruchit, good afternoon. Good to have you with us. Record high markets, where are you keeping a keen eye out on? Is it the index level buying that you're more keen on, or is it the stock specific opportunities that you're scouting for more?
Hi, very good afternoon. Well, there's no doubt about the trend for the market. We are trading at all-time high, and the broader trend still remains positive because after the recent corrective phase which we saw, this move has again been supported by broad market participation. So I think we are still not done yet. On the high side, if we look at retracements of the recent correction, then it's giving us a first target of around 22,750, which is the 127% retracement of the recent correction. And if that gets surpassed, then we may also see the markets heading higher towards 23,000 quite soon. So I think until we see any kind of reversals, better to stay with the trend And of course, stock specific moves would provide some better opportunities over here. The index is also positive, but I think the way we have seen the momentum or the rotation in stocks, especially some of the heavyweights as well as mid caps, both the segments have been doing well. So I think stock specific opportunities certainly can give more better trading perspective.
Okay, your top two stock ideas that you will go with, Ruchit.
Okay, so I'll start with the heavyweight, which is Larsen and Tubro. We have recommended this to our clients today as well. Recently, the stock gave a breakout from a cup and handle pattern. Last 4-5 trading sessions, in fact, last entire week, the stock has seen some pullback, but no high volumes on sell-off, and we expect the momentum to resume quite soon. So at current levels, short-term traders can go long on Larsen and Tubro, keeping stop loss below 3,700, expecting 4,000 very soon. Very short-term targets of around 4,000 could be seen in Larsen and Tubro. And a second pick would be a buy call in IndusInd Bank. So this is also doing well, but there would be a conditional call over here to go long on a breakout above 1577. So this is one of the hurdle that has acted in the past around 1570, 1575. But of late we have seen that the price strength is quite there, and a dip that was there in the last week managed to find support around the second and EMA. So if when the stock crosses above 1577, whether today or tomorrow, short-term traders can then go long on IndusInd Bank with stop loss below 1540 and expect targets around 1650.
Okay, so that's as far as IndusInd Bank is concerned. So you picked out a private sector bank. What about the PSU banks? They've actually run up pretty sharply and now are looking at some consolidation really take place. Is this a healthy space to start accumulating some of the stocks? Are you bullish on any, or do you see that the best part is already behind us? How would you really assess the moves in the PSU banks?
If one is looking from a very short-term perspective, I think there could be some consolidation within the PSU banking space. But the longer-term trend has not changed. This entire consolidation just seems to be a time-wise correction within an uptrend. So I would say it would depend upon the time horizon of the trader. If one is a very short-term trader, then I think one can better wait and watch and look to buy stocks on any kind of declines rather than chasing them at higher levels. But yes, from a longer term perspective, next 1 year or 8 months, 1 year perspective, I think the broader trend still remains very strong, and we could see some good levels even from current levels. So slow and gradual accumulation strategy should be kept within the PSU banking space, where at current levels one can look to start buying some of the names such as SBI is there, Canara Bank is there, Union Bank is there, but have some room to add if we get any kind of dip in the near future.
Okay, got that. Let's quickly revisit to all the stocks that are hitting fresh all-time high levels in this market as well, and then we will pick out a few stocks to ask Ruchit to share with us his view. So from the auto basket, Maruti Suzuki, M&M, Eicher Motors, all-time high levels for all three of them. Maruti at 12,859, 3.5% higher, over 3% gains for M&M. Eicher Motors up 4.4% at 4,210. These are all the stocks that are buzzing from the auto basket. Then apart from this, from the real estate space, you have Godrej Properties that's announced a heavy volume sales for its residential property in Gurgaon. And there you see a 3.5% move on the upside on the stock. It's hit a record high. From the oil and gas space, it's GAIL that's hit a 5% high. It's now trading 5% higher. 200.6 kind of levels is what it is trading at. Again, a record high level for this one. You have Zomato that's inching up pretty sharply, 0.6% higher, 191, 192 kind of levels being seen on this one. You also have from the finance space, Sundaram Finance, kind of stocks that are buzzing in trade at all-time high levels. Shriram Finance is up 2% as well. That's also buzzing pretty sharply in trade. Then from the power space, there are a lot of buzzers. You have Torrent Power, JSW Energy, both of them are at record high levels. From the infra pack, L&T was the pick that Ruchit gave, but IRB Infra is moving up pretty sharply, 4.3% higher in trade right now. So a lot of action really going on in the markets. Ruchit, I took a lot of names, but are there any few names that are also striking a chord with you, something where you have taken fresh positions in?
Yeah, so now we can see that the momentum which is strong in those stocks which are trading at 52-week highs. I think that momentum is getting continued, and you can see many stocks that price up moves have also been supported by good volumes. So I think that's a very crucial criteria, whether if the up move has been supported by good volumes. We can see names such as GAIL, which you just pointed out within the oil and gas space. No, I think no, those momentum are likely to continue. Even insurance space is one which I would add in the list. That no, recently we have seen some consolidation in stocks such as SBI Life is there, ICICI Prudential is there, HDFC Life is there. But in the moment, the broader trend still remains strong. So insurance, I think, would be one space which has seen some cool off from the 52-week highs, but still provides a very good opportunity to enter on this dip. ICICI Prudential Life Insurance is very strong weekly and a monthly chart structure. So if one is looking from a bit medium term perspective, then one can look out this space.
Okay, so ICICI Prudential could be looked at from the insurance basket. That is looking promising on the technical charts right now. Apart from this, I'll ask you on the new age tech stocks, Zomato, Nykaa was in flavor right from the morning trade as well. Info Edge, of course, it's not a new age because it's been there for a long time, internet-based company. But this entire space has been buzzing. Look at Nykaa, it's up 6.2% higher. It did come off the day's high, then again is moving up higher again. How are you looking at these new age internet stocks, and any momentum here that you'd like to chase?
So not all the new age stocks, but selective stocks are looking quite positive. One is Zomato, which you already told, but that has already been rallied. So there we are advising our clients to hold on if any existing long positions and which have been bought at from lower levels. But yes, Info Edge is one of the name which has shown a good outperformance in the recent corrective phase as well. We generally compare these stocks with some of the IT names and being a tech sector. And if you look at the Nifty IT index when it corrected of late, even right now the Nifty IT index is much high from the recent high, much off from the recent highs. But still, this has been one of the names which is relative showed good strength. So the stocks which are showing relative strength during the corrective phases, those stocks are continuing the uptrend. And both Zomato as well as Info Edge as examples of such relative strength stocks. One interesting name which you took is Nykaa. I think that's where there's some fresh momentum is building up right now. The last few trading sessions, a good consolidation has been seen in the stocks after the entire corrective phase that we have seen in the last few months. And if you look at today's volumes, along with the price, the volumes are quite good compared to what the daily average volumes have been in Nykaa of late. So I think Nykaa is one stock which if one is looking for a fresh momentum perspective. And I think this can do well in the near term. The first targets for the stock would be around 195, 196, where the previous swing highs are there. And in case that gets crossed, then it can even test 220 kind of levels. So slowing gradual up move could be expected from Nykaa from current levels.
Okay, got that. So Nykaa is also, you have a view there now. Apart from this, let's again look at the power space. I was mentioning a few stocks that were hovering at all-time highs like Torrent Power that also Sunny Agrawal spoke about, and also JSW Energy. NTPC is now moved up to the day's high level. That's up on your screens, 2.1% higher in trade. Then you also have stocks like Coal India that are moving up again, back in action. Anything from the power space that interests you? Power Grid is also now up about 1.5%. Anything that looks attractive on the charts right now, Ruchit?
So most of the names are no doubt in an uptrend, but these stocks have already seen a good run up. And if you look at the recent past, then the stocks have already rallied, and the risk reward ratio for fresh buying is not that favorable over here. So I would say existing long positions, should it's beneficial for them to continue to ride this trend. But from a fresh momentum perspective, it's better to keep on buying dip approach. And in case if we get any kind of dip in the near future, then use those dips as a buying opportunity rather than chasing the stocks now where the rally has already been knowing momentum.
Okay, fair enough. So that's the view coming in on that one as well. The oil and gas space we've briefly discussed. You did talk about GAIL, how that is positive for you. But what about the upstream and the downstream companies? Any on that? Any view on those front?
So I think HPVP IOC can see some consolidation, but if I look at the weekly or the monthly chart, then they does not seem to be in a downtrend. But it's just a corrective phase within a trend. We have seen the crude oil prices going up, which may have a short-term impact on the stocks. But I think if one is looking from a long-term perspective, then these are good names to add for the portfolio. If we have a view of about 6 months or 6 months or more, maybe post elections, these stocks would again come in momentum. So from a short-term perspective, I think we are still into that consolidation phase. Some momentum could be expected only post-elections then, but Reliance Industries, ONGC, these are some of the upstream companies, but I think the steam is still much left. I know Reliance Industries especially has been making high top, high bottom structure. Even ONGC, we have been witnessing since last 1.5 year that those PSU names which are consistently giving good dividend yields, I think a lot of buying interest has been seen in such names. And ONGC being such one of the PSU heavyweight where consistent dividend is there, and the trend, the broader trend also seems to be positive. So I think both these stocks from the upstream companies such as Reliance Industries and ONGC can be looked from a bit of positional perspective. So both are looking positive. ONGC, I think 300 to 305 would be expected over a period of time.
Okay, fair enough. So that's as far as the entire oil and gas space is also concerned. The other interesting space that just got into momentum a few days or just about week 10 days ago is the entire consumer durable space as well. A lot of action really taking place on stocks like Voltas, for instance. Would you also go ahead and do a basket of stocks deployment here as a sector? Is this now coming up as a preferred sector within the rotation that we have been seeing right ahead of summer's onset? We've seen for Voltas, they've recorded highest ever AC sales for FY24. Along with it, now Blue Star, V-Guard, Havells, they have been in momentum as well. I want to ask you, is sectoral deployment a good idea? Are you going to be very, very specific here?
To a very small extent, I won't say that it should be a big portion of your portfolio if you are even looking for sectoral deployment in this one. Stocks such as Voltas is there, Blue Star is there. They are looking quite positive positionally and they could continue to do well. But no, we can see that no, based on these news flows, due to no, rising heat in the summer, their sales numbers, the stock prices have already rallied. It's not that we are picking them up in the consolidation phase if one is looking for fresh entry now. The stocks have already rallied, so I think the initial part of that uptrend has already been done now. So still looks a good buy. But as I said, the quantum of the portion of it should be a very limited part of the portfolio. And if one is looking to pare down on the stocks, then Voltas and Blue Star, I think these two are looking very positive on mid to long term charts.
Okay, fair enough. Since I briefly mentioned that you talked about L&T as your preferred pick, you started by that. But what about the mid and the small cap infra names, stocks like PNC Infra, IRB Infra, they are in momentum. Is there a momentum that one should chase here, or should one stick with the large caps like you have chosen?
I think large caps are also good, and one can even take some limited exposure to some of the mid cap names as well. PNC Infra, which you named, is quite looking positive. Even NCC, one can look from a bit mid to long term perspective, where one should look to buy. But yes, if you are looking for mid cap names, then I would say that recently we witnessed one dip. I think that dip was a good opportunity to add to such names. Now we have already seen the stocks again rallying towards their previous highs. So one should keep some room to buy in case if we get any dip in the near future again. So one can buy some quantity at current levels in stocks such as from the mid-cap basket, so in stocks such as NCC or PNC Infra. But no, as I said, keep some room to average in case if we get any kind of dip within the trend in the near future.
Okay. The other pick that you had suggested was IndusInd Bank, and interestingly wanted to ask you, after a long haul, finally on an intraday level at least, we've seen the Nifty Bank cross its earlier record high level in trade. Within the large cap banking space, apart from IndusInd Bank, how was your view really shaping up on the largest banks like HDFC Bank, which after a long haul of underperformance did show us some momentum over the last few days? But the question is that will this momentum sustain or not? Because till the time some of these large cap names like HDFC, ICICI, Axis or a Kotak, they are missing in action, there is not much that the Nifty Bank will be able to do sans their support. So how would you really look at these major players?
So yes, the private sector banks have been into a long consolidation phase. The kind of outperformance we have seen in the PSU banking names in the last 3 to 4 quarters, we have not seen any such move within the private sector banking heavyweights. I think that's why Bank Nifty somehow, if we see relatively, it has shown some underperformance to the benchmark. The last all-time high in the Bank Nifty index was on 20th of December when it hit a high of about 48,636. After that, no, this is the first time that again the new high has been seen in the Bank Nifty index. But now I think some of the these heavyweights would see a bit of momentum on the positive side. In case if the Bank Nifty crosses this previous all-time high which was there, then we should see a move towards 49,600, which is 161.8% retracement of the recent correction. And if the index goes towards 49,600, 500 levels from current levels, then of course no, the heavyweights no, should participate. We have seen a long consolidation breakout in HDFC Bank. Initially, last quarter, post the last quarterly results, there was a decent price-wise correction for about 3 to 4 weeks. Then the stock went into a consolidation phase, and again, no, the stock has started showing some good buying interest, which you can see on the charts. ICICI Bank too, no, in this last 3 or 4 months when private sector banks have not performed, we have not seen any price-wise correction phase in the ICICI Bank. In relative compared to other private sector banks, it has managed to hold quite well. So I think both these names, ICICI as well as SDFC, could also do well. I am not looking at very big gains on these stocks, but at least a slow and gradual up move could be expected, which could help the Bank Nifty move towards the 49,600 mark.
Okay, so we've discussed a large part of banking, we've discussed a large part of IT space as well. We've also discussed momentum spaces like power, like auto, for instance, for infra, for example, as well. Real estate is what we have discussed on the show so far. Consumer durables as a space we have also discussed. What's not been discussed so far is two sectors, both are defensive sectors. One is pharma and the other one is FMCG. Pharma space although has been missing in action when we talk about the sector as a whole, but there have been many days when here and there we do see one or two segments from this entire pharma healthcare space perform. And diagnostic space is one space that has picked up in action of late. Today I am again looking at one stock which is Laurus Labs, that's again pulling up in the F&O action again. Is there sustainable momentum that you spot here on Laurus Labs, or is this space best avoided? How would you really play up this space, Ruchit?
I think if we look at both the sectors, pharma as well as the FMCG, I think FMCG has seen a long underperformance, and especially we see buying interest in these names during uncertain times when the markets are uncertain. A lot of stocks or sectors are going through a corrective phase. Generally, we see a good momentum picking up in such defensive names. But no, it's not the case now because markets have been doing quite well, and people are traders are focusing more on the growth sectors rather than going with the defensive ones. So I think that's why FMCG relatively has been underperforming. Very few stocks such as Kolpal has shown a good momentum within the FMCG name. So I think that outperformance in one or two stocks could continue. Godrej Consumer I'll add to the list, but not the entire sector as a whole is still in momentum. But pharma is a bit different. I think relatively some of the pharma names have done well. Of late, we can see stocks such as Sun Pharma is doing well. Even Divi's Lab in last 1.5 weeks has managed to show some good pullback from the lower levels. Laurus Labs, which you pointed out from the mid-size segment space, has given a breakout from a long consolidation phase that was supported by good volumes. A bit high beta name being a Laurus Labs, but I think still many. Even if I look at some of the mid-cap names, then Ipca Laboratories has done well. Glenmark Pharma is trading around its all-time high. Zydus Life Sciences is doing well. So I think this pharma relatively looks much in a spending position. So I think stocks from pharma space can continue to do well. But yes, one need to be very selective. FMCG stocks have not shown that signs of bottoming out yet. So I think we need to give some more time for FMCG names, and rather better to wait and watch before taking much exposure in that sector.
Okay, it's 3:23 now. We're just about 6 to 7 minutes away from the day's trading close. Ruchit, tell us what are your next BTST or STBT ideas that you'd like to share?
So one is LNT that I have already shared. So I think if anyone is a BTST trader, then they can also prefer to take home LNT. And apart from that, HDFC Life Insurance, one can look for buying interest over there too. Last few days, the stock has already seen some good consolidation. Prices are trading around its support, so some pullback move in HDFC Life Insurance could be seen. At current levels, traders can go long with stop loss below 620 and expect target somewhere around 660.
Okay, got those. So those are the BTSC ideas. What about preparation for tomorrow? How would you advise traders to really go ahead? Remember, this is a truncated week, so Thursday will be off. So we just have 3 more days of trade remaining now. What is the best way of approaching the markets? Just on the day one of this week, we've seen the Nifty, the Sensex, the Nifty Bank, the Nifty Midcap Index, all of them hitting record high levels. But what's next, and how should one be strategizing their move now?
No signs of reversal yet. It's the
All right, I think there is some kind of an audio trouble. We'll try and fix that if we can to find what Ruchit really believes in. But clearly, you do have his PTSD ideas, and his view on several sectors and stocks is what we've already discussed. Right now, if we speak about 0.7% of a move on the upside on the Nifty is what you can spot. 155 point of a move on the upside. 22,668 currently. Remember, this will also be the record closing high for the Nifty. The Nifty Bank is also inching up again after that very, very volatile trading session for the index. 48,582. Remember, we already climbed to record high levels and we pulled back from those high levels as well. Sectorally speaking, barring just about 1 or 2 indices that have not managed to pull up in trade. So IT and PSU banks, they lied low, especially the PSU banking space that has had a huge run up that refused to really participate in trade today. And the IT space, rest of the sectors have all managed to give you handsome returns, driven by the auto space that was up by 2.2% higher. It's ending as the top sectoral mover in trade today. Realty follows 1.5% higher. Oil and gas, metals, consumer durables, the small caps and the healthcare index also, along with the Midcap index, that's also moved up in trade right now. The top movers clearly Eicher Motors, M&M, Maruti, NTPC, SBI Life, JSW Steel, Grasim, Shriram Finance. These have been the top movers on the Nifty. On the downside, like I pointed out, it's been Adani Ports that's dragged the street, Nestle, Apollo Hospitals, Wipro, LTI, Mindtree, Sun Pharma. And then you also have HCL Tech and TCS both dragging. HDFC Bank also down about 0.25% lower in trade. Infosys down in trade. So some of those heavyweights really lying low, not participating in the move today. But it's turned out to be a stupendous run up in the markets for sure, where several pockets have actually hit record high levels, several of the stocks that have remained in momentum again. So with that, we wrap up this very special trading session for all our viewers, about 155 points on the upside for the Nifty. What we will continue to track for you is the way the markets will shape up in the days to follow, and even beyond the market hours, there will be a lot of action that you can continue to look at to get to yourselves a better perspective about which way is the market really headed from record high markets as well. And the best way is how you can understand from experts where exactly should your money be put so that you can make maximum profits. Until then, many thanks for tuning in onto this very special edition. Thank you so much.
This is Uttar Pradesh's Amethi.